Hi, everybody.
Hi.
No one else is going to say hi? I know. I was like,
Hi.
where's everyone else? How is everyone doing today? Happy New Year. We're going to wait a minute to let people log in. We have 2 people already. Hello. Say hi.
Hi, welcome.
And we will just give it a little bit. And then we'll introduce our guests. Got 3 in. And get started.
Got somebody at my door.
What?
I've got somebody at my office door. So
Okay, all right. Lindsay's gonna be right back. She's a busy girl. You're gonna find out soon how busy. So yeah, we're just gonna hang tight. Lindsay's in our aquatic office. Molly's in her office. We're staying socially distant for now as the cases rise in the area.
Right.
That's how it's been going. It's been a tough ride for a lot of people, especially employers. I've been seeing a lot of restaurants closing too, temporarily. Have you seen that, Molly?
True. I have as well.
It's crazy.
Scary.
Okay, we got a couple more. All right. All right. Well, we're gonna get started. We got some friends on. So basically, we are here today to discuss all things Parks Aquatic, and of course, we want to let everybody know that we are currently in the process of building up our aquatics department, and we want to work to bring our community improved service and programming. That's kind of what's fueling all of this. It is a big job, but we have some really experienced full-time staff. They're enthusiastic. We have a team here, and we're confident the future is going to be good. It's going to be successful and bright. But before we get into the nitty-gritty and the questions, I want to first introduce our special speakers today. We have Molly Krukeru, who is the Parks and Recreation Director, and we have Lindsay Richardson with us, who is the Aquatics Manager. So she manages not just the Heights, but also the Maplewood Family Aquatic Center as well. For those of you who might not be familiar with the term PARC, P-A-R-C, it's Parks and Recreation Cooperative. We work closely with Maplewood, and basically our recreation staff runs a lot of the programming for both the cities, and we help out run some of the pool. Their residents are residents here at the Heights, so it just gives you a little bit of backstory on what PARC means. So, Molly, let's introduce you first, okay?
Sure.
Many of you met Molly about a year ago when we went live. I can't believe it's been that long already, but
Me either.
you guys kind of got to know her a little bit. We didn't, if you haven't met Molly, will you explain your experiences, where you've come from, your background a little bit for everybody?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thanks, Kelly. So just a little bit about me, and I know we're talking about aquatics, so I kind of want to bring in my aquatics background. It's actually how I got started in Parks and Recreation, which is kind of a crazy thing. So I started out as a lifeguard myself when I was just 15 years old. I worked for the city of Arnold. And with that, I quickly became several more different positions. I moved up to a manager position. I taught lifeguard training and certification classes, CPR, AED classes, as well as I was an auditor. So I have a very strong aquatic background. I was with the city of Arnold for 14 years, and I traded out beautiful blue pools for the frozen ice at Brentwood. So I worked there at their Parks and Recreation Department for 3 years. Just a different kind of pool. It was a lot of fun, but I'm certainly super happy to be back in a traditional aquatics center and in a traditional community center. So that's just a little bit about me.
Awesome. Lindsay, this is your first time on our live, so welcome to your live debut with the Heights. It's a big deal, kind of. So you started working with at the Heights May of 2021, which is kind of a big deal because it was right before summer 2021, obviously. So you came in right in the thick of everything. I think I speak on behalf of all of us here that we've all been thoroughly impressed with your diligent and effective work that you've been doing in the aquatics department since you started here. But just to give everybody a backstory, why don't you go ahead and explain your past experiences before you joined our team?
So prior to coming to the Heights, I was with the YMCA predominantly for the past 12 years. I started there as a lifeguard back at Trout Lodge, which is a waterfront. From there, just kind of moved up, coordinator, director, district aquatics director, worked at 5 different facilities, indoor, like I said, a waterfront, outdoor water parks, down to just a 3-lane lap pool as well, all which have different challenges. So I've been an auditor as well, a lifeguard instructor trainer. So I've been doing aquatics for quite a while, and it has its challenges at every location. So we're here to work on this one.
Certainly does. I would say between both of you, there is a plethora of experience in the aquatics department. And honestly, I think Molly talking about her aquatics department experience, a lot of people didn't know that about you. I don't even think we talked a whole lot about that last year when we introduced you on the live. So I think that does say a lot. But before we move forward into the interview, I want to let everyone know that all questions that are going to be asked during the live, we're going to address and answer them at the end of our interview. So we took some of the questions that we've had over the last week, and we formulated our questions for Molly and Lindsay. And so any questions that you might have in additional to, we will, at the end of this interview, answer those too. We are trying to be super time efficient today because Lindsay has to get back on stand. And so if it's not aquatics related, still ask it. We'll get back to it later and we'll respond with a comment. So if you are watching this video back, please still comment and ask questions and we will still respond. So this doesn't have to be just a live event. Of course, we will address these questions later on as well. So let's move forward with my handy dandy questions. All right, let's get serious. So the last few months have been nothing short of challenging for our aquatics department. After learning that we will be in-house hiring starting January 2022, this past October, we've been working diligently to hire not just guards, but also a full-time staff member to help out Lindsay to keep our PARC aquatics department running. So Molly, can you help us understand why the Heights made the decision not to renew the contract with the management company?
Sure. I wanted to let everybody know it was a mutual agreement between both parties. It wasn't a decision that either party took lightly, but we did all feel like it was the best. It was the best, and I believe this will be the best for the city, for our members, guests, the community. I think it's a good decision. But we knew we were going to have a rocky road of a start, and we were prepared. But I will say, as soon as this decision had been made, we hit the ground running. I know Lindsay certainly did, as well as myself and several other team members. We definitely did our best to get the word out that we were changing over and that we would be hiring in-house. I know we've been advertising since October. So that's kind of where we're at, and the fact that we chose not to renew it, and it was very mutual agreement between both parties.
Thank you. So most of you have viewed the temporary aquatic schedule that we posted a couple weeks ago, and we absolutely know it is less than ideal. We're not excited about it either. But with that being said, Lindsay, do you mind explaining that schedule a little bit better for everyone?
Yeah, so like you said, we realize it's not ideal. We're trying to get it back to regular hours as quickly as we can. Unfortunately, right now, to have the coverage that we do right now, it's myself on stand 60 hours out of the week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, those will be me by myself. And then I have 3 other staff that are available, part-time staff. So between the 4 of us, we're at least able to get it open of what we have. And we try to do the best to offer some morning hours and then also offer some evening hours and keep the water fitness classes to the best that we could as well. And then as we hire, we'll be able to open it up a little at a time as we move forward. But that's where we're at.
Absolutely.
Can you explain the lap lane closure? So I know that a lot of people have had questions with why there are limited lap lanes available during certain hours. Do you mind addressing that?
Yeah, so there are times where we have one lane available. That's when the water fitness classes are going. Those can range sometimes between 13 people to 25 people, and they use that space to have that depth in order to properly do their exercises. Exercises require them to be at a shoulder depth, and unfortunately in our rec side, it doesn't meet that depth requirement for a lot of the participants. Therefore, in order to serve 15 or so people, we do need to close off that space for that limited amount of time to allow them to come in. So that
Gotcha.
It's not that one guard can't watch the 4 lanes, they're watching the participants, and we are still offering at least one lane during that time.
And you guys do encourage circle swim, so sharing of the lanes as well.
Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely. Share the lanes. If the classes happen to be small on a certain day, we'll add a lane if we can, but that would be if the class is quite small.
Great. Thank you. So back to you, Lindsay. You have been very busy undergoing lots of certifications and trainings of your own to prepare for what's to come in your department. So explain certifications you've recently received and tell us how you plan to apply them to your department.
So prior to starting at the Heights, I was certified in everything under the YMCA. So I was lifeguard instructor, and lifeguard instructor trainer. Since the decision to come here and to move in-house, we decided to go with Red Cross training. So I did have to cross-train all of my certifications, and I had to start from the beginning. So I had to take a lifeguard class back in November, and for that I had to go out to Wisconsin because there were no classes here. And that was the closest we could find that wasn't spread out between 4 different weekends. So I had to travel quite a ways. And then just recently in December, I was able to get the Red Cross instructor certification so that I could do in-house training with any of those new hires. So if you're not certified, we can certify you in-house as well.
Which is a huge plus. It's really nice to be able to have that, I'd say, because when I trained and certified, there was no option to do that here. So, all right. So it's been 3 years since we've managed our own guards in-house. Since then, we've acquired new management at the Heights, both at the director's level as well as Aquatics, underwent a massive aquatic center rebuild at the Heights, and now we are navigating the difficulties of hiring during a pandemic. It really does feel like we're kind of entering uncharted territory. So with that said, Lindsay, what do you expect your most challenging obstacle will be in the coming months?
I think right now it's going to be the recruiting and hiring. Even the hiring process has been delayed with shortage of staff across the board. So it takes a little bit longer to even get someone hired just due to shortages everywhere. Also having to run trainings. Like I said earlier, I'm on stand 60 hours out of the week. So trying to do those other things outside of those hours and still do office work and recruit and train and hire. So it's about big balancing act right now, but we'll get there. Can only go up from here. So
once we get that other full-time person hired, it should be incredibly helpful, I would assume, correct?
Yes.
Fingers
yes.
crossed.
We'll
sooner than later.
Yeah.
So Molly, as the director of the Parks and Recreation Department, how do you see your role in rebuilding the Aquatics Department staff and programming?
Sure. So while I always am involved in it, I will say my role really changed back in October when this change happened. So one of the things that I immediately knew was we were already having a difficult time hiring staff here at the Heights in general for tot care, for fitness, any kind of instructors, our front desk team. We've been hiring on a number of people all during this time, and it's been very difficult to fill these roles already. So we knew we had to be really competitive. So I think right off the bat, we wanted to make sure we had competitive wage. So we worked on that. And I also worked on getting Lindsay the things that she needed. We had to figure out training and where we could go and nearby and how we could switch over. So I think I played a big role in that. And then I think in the future, my role will always be to support Lindsay and her team, to get them the tools that they need, the training that they need, the funds that they need. That will be my role in Aquatics from here on out, and programming and supporting them.
That's wonderful. So this is a question that we received on Facebook. With the national lifeguard shortage, it's hard not to wonder what might happen in-house with our aquatic schedule at both the Heights and possibly MFAC this coming summer if enough guards aren't hired. So we did receive the question on Facebook asking if we can't get a full staff, would we consider bringing the management company back? Molly, worst case scenario, we don't get a large enough team rebuilt before summer 2022 at MFAC. Is going to another management company something that you've thought about?
That's a good question. I remember reading that comment. Are we going to throw in the towel? At what time and point in time are we going to throw in the towel? I'm here to say that they're experiencing the same problems we are. Like you said, it's a national crisis. People aren't applying for jobs. So no, we will not entertain the idea of a management company this year. I fully believe and trust that our staff will be able to do this and handle this, especially with the support and help from the community. I mean, we're also calling on the community's help to get people to apply here. We've done what we can to make this a great place of work and have great benefits. So we're just in need of the help right now. But I don't think that we would have anything any different. I know we had to team up with a pool management company just this past year. I know Lindsay Richardson, who's on with us right now, lifeguarded many shifts just to keep different areas open at MFAC this summer, as well as our other Lindsay, who's not on, who is also certified. We were just lucky to have the two of them and to be able to team up with a pool management company to keep MFAC open this summer safely. So I think that was a key as well.
Yeah. This question is for both of you. How do you see hiring in-house will change the overall PARC Aquatics department for the better?
So I'll go first, Lindsay. So I think there's a lot of benefit to having it in-house. When we really get to know the people, our lifeguards won't be coming from different pools or having to leave to go to different pools. They'll be our team, and we'll be able to set the expectations and follow through with that. I also think we'll get to know them better, and they'll get to know and understand our facilities better. And then I also think with that is that they'll be able to have that special bond with the members and guests that regularly come here. I think that's a huge benefit that everybody gets to know one another. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know if you had anything to add, Lindsay.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone yesterday, with some of the issues over the summer, since the staff we had were shared with other facilities. It can cause confusions with rules, and stuff, which was an issue this past summer. So having that in-house staff will help with consistency along with that as well. We'll know their trainings are up to standard and be able to communicate any issues that there may be, scheduling or anything like that, and be able to get ahead of it. But also hiring within the community, they become more vested and show pride a little bit in where they're working because it's an area that they grew up in. So it really helps whenever you're hiring within your own community and not sharing staff other places. So
absolutely. Yeah. And I kind of see a question too that just came in, but of course we work with the Maplewood Park Board as well. So there are definitely a lot of resources that we've used to try and get people to recruit them to be here. We've met with several people.
Yes.
That's helpful.
So, Lindsay, you have managed guards in the past in your previous positions. How would you describe your management style, and what are your expectations of the lifeguards you're hiring now?
I would describe myself as I am pretty laid back, but I do hold my staff to a standard. I don't like to be that mean boss, but if you give me a reason to, obviously there's disciplinary action, but I really kind of hold 4 key things that I like my staff to do, and it's show up on time, come in your uniform, not be distracted while on stand, and communicate and do what you're asked. Whenever you're not on stand, you can, there's plenty of times to have a break and to talk and hang out. But when you're up on that guard stand, I do hold you to a standard. But I also train you to that standard. I give you the resources needed to be successful. And I kind of pride myself on that as far as the in-service trainings and the certification courses. So I set you up for success and kind of hold you to it, but I'm pretty laid back as long as you're doing those four minimal things.
Those are pretty small, minimal things. Very, very key things. But also, speaking from someone who, I was a lifeguard at the Maplewood pool for 4 years and over here at the Heights as well. And I would say and I'm still here. Obviously, I liked it, right? That was 15 years ago. I think a lot can be said for having a staff that is so grounded and tied to the community. They take a lot of pride in it. And then by taking pride in that community and that work, you're also taking pride in your job, right? You want to keep your job because you enjoy it. And I would say that it was incredibly fun. One of my favorite jobs by far. And you learn so many skills. So yeah, I don't think what you're asking for is too much. Those are pretty much the bare minimum for most jobs.
Right.
Okay, so Lindsay, what can the community look forward to as far as programming goes in the future?
Right now with the shortened schedule, with the opening of the facility, we did have to put swim lessons on hold, just due to, like I said, it's myself and 3 other staff. We're doing what we can to keep the pool open what it is now. As we're able to hire more people, we'd love to get swim lessons back in, especially as we approach the summer. So that's something that I would like to, once we're able to get staffed, that will become the next goal, to get that going. So I think that's the biggest need right now as to what we're not able to offer.
Understandable. So Lindsay, if someone is watching now and they're thinking about applying to be a park lifeguard, what are the pre-requirements that they would need?
I always joke about it, but a heartbeat. You got a heartbeat, I can teach you how to swim if it's swimming you need. But no, seriously, I look for people that are eager, willing to serve their community. If you're, willing to work hard, determined, say you can swim 100 yards, but you can't swim the full 300. I'll get in the water with you, give you some tips, tricks, and we'll work there for it. So just come willing to work, and the rest I can teach you and train you.
And I think that says a lot about you as a manager, that you would put in that much effort and that much work for one of your employees. Like that's commendable, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. But I think that shows your patience. It shows that you're dedicated and that you care. My mom taught me how to swim so that I could become a lifeguard, because I didn't know how to swim either. So I think that is a question, and it is an obstacle when people are looking at this as a potential position for themselves. Do I know how to swim? Can I make the prereqs? We'll do whatever we can to help you get there. And so we discussed earlier, but if you need to come in and utilize the facility to practice, we will help you arrange that. Like Lindsay, just get with Lindsay, email her, let her know where you're at. Say, I don't know how to do these things, but I want to learn so I can be a part of the team. And then you and Lindsay can arrange those times for you to come in and practice your laps. But yeah, I think that's pretty awesome of you.
Yeah. So just to kind of clarify the lifeguard swim test, it is a 300 yards. You have to display freestyle and breaststroke. So you have the option to do either of those, but you do have to show that you can swim both of those strokes, and then be able to dive down to the bottom of the pool. The indoor pool is only 5 feet. So there is a shallow water certification. If you're hesitant about, well, I can't get 12.5 feet at the Maplewood pool, you have the option to just be certified to guard here. So that's kind of the minimum requirement. So we can get you there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you say, I can't remember if you said this, but did you say that you needed to be vaccinated?
Yes. So employees, all city employees do need to be vaccinated. That is a city requirement upon any new hires. So.
Okay. Well, I have one more question for you, Lindsay. But as everyone knows, many businesses are hiring right now. It's incredibly hard to hire for any position. So why should someone choose to be a park lifeguard over any other position currently being offered out there?
Well, one, they get to work with me, so that's pretty cool.
And us.
But I mean, I think we do have a competitive pay. It's $15 an hour. You get a free membership. So, you know, even those out there who come and swim laps every day, come work a 2-hour shift and then swim afterwards or before, you know, get a free membership. It is a socially distanced job. So you're able to sit elevated up in a chair, you know, away from people. So if there's concerns of that, that's a good perk, especially in this day and age. Flexible schedule. I work around, you know, some kids, they in school or have sports. You know, if you're only available one day of a week, that's fine because it'll fluctuate by the season. So I'm very flexible with that. It's great for those who are retired as well. Just looking for something to do, you know, a couple early mornings, come in, work 2 hours, and then do your lap swimming and head home. So it's great for all ages. Minimum age requirement is 15. So you do have to be 15 upon being hired in that last day of the certification course. So,
With a worker's permit, correct?
with a worker's permit, yeah.
Can you imagine making $15 an hour as a 15-year-old?
Well,
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So I think there are a lot of really great perks here, a lot of good benefits. You know, we're rebuilding. It's going to be great. But since we're at the end of our interview, we do have some questions that have come through here. And we're using a different, hang on one second, program. And so some of the questions have disappeared on my end. So I'm just going to pull it up real quick on my other computer. Stay with me. All right. We can start from the bottom though. So we can, let's go ahead while we're waiting. Let's go ahead and address Shep Shepard's question. So he says, unfortunately, I'm not able to swim due to the limited schedule, but now have an annual membership I'm not able to use. So is there an option to freeze the membership until hiring hopefully picks up? He says he only swims and he'd rather not have to cancel and be penalized.
Of course, of course. So I'll take that. You're welcome to call us. We're happy to freeze your membership. You can speak with Nate Wilkes or myself. Either of us would be happy to help you with that. So you're welcome to call either of us and we'll take care of that for you until things pick up, which is hopefully soon, which is one thing maybe we didn't even address is that we have had a decent number of people come in. So we are hiring. We're in the process of hiring several more people. So we're excited and we hope we're able to expand these hours rather quickly. It's never a goal or an intention of any of ours to have to cancel or reduce hours or anything like that. It's nothing any of us want to do. So as soon as we can get back, we will be back.
So there was a question that I'm not seeing for some reason, but I know it was there. I have a helper in here with me. Well, Jeanette, can you read me the question about the lap lanes? I remember seeing the lap lane question.
Yes. Someone said sharing lanes is still allowed with current COVID infection rates.
So I think someone asked if the lap lanes were always going to be closed, or if the lap lanes were going to be closed outside of.
Someone said.
Can you confirm that all 4 lap lanes will be open at all times other than just when classes are going on? Is there any other time lap lanes will be limited? So I'm sorry if you were promised that, but the truth is there'll be different things that are held in the pool year round. So right now it is lap lanes that are affected by our water fitness classes. That is relatively new this fall. Lindsay brought aquatic fitness classes back, but that's something that a lot of people use. It's a different kind of exercise and it is a shared space. So I know as well as swimming lessons, they will affect the lap lane usage in the future. So there are things that do affect the lap lane, special events, those sorts of things. But I will say that we do try our very best to make sure that we're always making sure things are as even as we can across the board so that we can fit in everybody's needs. I think the problem right now is more that the hours are limited. But these things have been going on. So I think that's kind of where we're at on that. I don't know if you had anything to add to that, Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered pretty much everything. Yeah.
Okay, and I think that might have covered this one too. Carol Bander had the question. She wanted to confirm that all 4 lap lanes would be open the times that water aerobics weren't happening. So is there any other reason they'd be closed other than water aerobics?
Start swim lessons, but currently we're not able to offer those. So during our current operational hours, which I see somebody's asking, we're 7 a.m. to 7 on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 a.m. to 5 on Fridays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays we're 6 a.m. to 2, and Saturdays I believe 11 to 4 o'clock on Saturdays. Those are our current hours, but yeah, outside of the water fitness classes, there should be 4 lanes available, but during those classes there will be limited space.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, I think we might have had another one come in. So we had another concern about sharing lanes with the COVID infection rates. Has that been something that's been discussed, or is that a concern? I'm not sure. I don't know what the guidelines are from the county, but I know that they haven't.
Really just changed today. So.
Yeah, it did just change today. Jeanette just told me everything just changed today. That was the mask mandate, but I don't know. They can't wear masks in the water. Have you heard of anything about this, Lindsay?
I'll take that. That hasn't been a thing for quite some time.
Okay.
I think when COVID first came about and we were reopening, there were some guidelines on that, but at this point in time, there are no guidelines on sharing a lane. However, if you're not comfortable doing it, we're not going to make anybody do it. That is your own choice, but they are available to share. It's a shared space.
Thank you. I think that's all the questions that we have. So did I get them all, Jeanette? Okay. So there might be some that come rolling in after this live, and we will continue to answer those via comments. So we want to remind everybody that applications are being accepted online at www.richmondheights.org for all applications here at the Heights, but especially the lifeguard ones. And the full-time lifeguard or the full-time aquatics position that is open is also online. That person would work side by side, little wingman of Lindsay's, wing woman, whichever you prefer.
Wing woman or wingman.
You can find an updated water aerobics schedule and aquatic schedule at myheights.info under the Heights Aquatics tab. We will keep those up to date. But really, they're not going to change much until we get staff hired and trained in. So that'll probably be it until we know more. But that is where you're going to find the most up-to-date information. And then finally, we just want to say, we want to end by stating that staff is going to continue to work tirelessly to recruit, hire, and train these lifeguards so we can bring our normal hours back as soon as possible. We are in this profession to serve our community with the services and resources that you need to improve your overall health and wellness. So we take pride in our work, and when things like this happen, we are just as disappointed as you are that we can't deliver the way that we normally can. So we really want everyone to truly understand that we are doing everything we can, and we understand the disappointment that it is causing, and we want to make it better, and we're working towards that. Any questions that you continue to bring our way, our arms are wide open for concerns and questions. Molly's email, she's constantly filtering questions. She's always welcoming people to send them questions. Please do not hesitate to reach out. Seriously, we are here for you guys. And we are going to get through this, and we're going to have our park lifeguards back, and it's going to be awesome.
It will be. Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys.
We're looking forward to a very promising future with aquatics for sure.
We really are.
Be here soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you guys.
Bye.